Hello and welcome to another NFT journey. This is episode 3 of my podcast where we discuss all things NFT and Web3, if you will. And I'm kind of like branching out into these other topics the more and more I talk about these things. It's not just NFTs, it's everything all over the place. Today's episode, we got a couple news stories that I want to discuss. Some hot things that happened. You're probably going to guess a couple of them. And we're going to talk about picking a wallet. One of the first steps to get involved with this whole crypto world and NFTs is picking a wallet. And let me tell you, it's not straightforward. So let's get right into it. The first story is the OpenSea hack. OpenSea is the absolute largest NFT marketplace out there right now. And I think it's often one of the most criticized as well because it has so much volume go through it, and it could be possibly improved in a lot of different ways, security wise and interface wise and all kinds of stuff. In my research and just learning about OpenSea, I think I've found more negative feedback than I have positive, but it's one of those things where this is the biggest marketplace, so you kind of have to be there type attitude. But there was a hack. Apparently, a hack of some sort of a phishing attack or a hack that happened. Everybody's classifying it as a hack, but the investigation that's going on hasn't concluded yet. But the information that's been trickling in seems to point to some sort of a phishing attack where some individuals clicked on a malicious link and accidentally signed something. OpenSea was in the process of doing a migration, and these people clicked on a link to initiate the migration, and they had to sign. So the thing they signed was property of the malicious person or the hacker, and he proceeded to steal a lot of NFTs. According to the article, CNBC has it, a bunch of big news outlets has it, and I've seen stories on Twitter. There's a couple different stories. One is that 200 million and NFTs were stolen, and the other is that the guy had 1.7 million in his wallet and he still hasn't sold the other NFTs. So at the end of the day, there's millions of dollars of NFTs that got removed from people's wallets, and that's a big problem. I think one of the most concerning things about this is that we don't know if it's actually a problem with the NFT or the OpenSea software, because there's rumors that there was an exploit that this hacker took advantage of. Rumors haven't been substantiated yet, so I'm not going to repeat them completely. But the leading story, I think, right now is just that this is part of a phishing hack. If you don't know what phishing is, it's when you get socially engineered, basically. Someone pretends to be something and you trust them, and you end up doing something not smart and you lose access to something. You give them access. You give them a password that you shouldn't have, or you click on a link you shouldn't have. And it's a big problem that happens in not only NFTs and not only Web3, but it's all over the internet and the web. So this is a quote from David Fencer. He said that we don't believe it's connected to the OpenSea website. It appears 32 users thus far have signed a malicious payload from an attacker, and some of their NFTs were stolen. And in a series of tweets, Fencer dispelled rumors that the hack was worth 200 million. Fencer, I might be pronouncing his name wrong. Fencer. He said that the hacker has $1.7 million in Ethereum in his wallet from selling some of these stolen NFTs. And one of the good things about the blockchain is that all the stuff is traceable. So all the things that were stolen, everything that was moved, you can see where it went and who got it and who did what. So it's not a mystery where the things are. It's just that from what we can tell, no laws were broken because these individuals did sign for these things to be sold for 0 ETH. That's what they signed. They signed some sort of a smart contract to say these transactions will be, you can do these transactions for free. So they basically fool someone. It's like giving someone your bank account and some sort of a scam. They take your money. They didn't really do anything wrong in terms of like how they did it. You gave them the information they needed to get your stuff. It's a very similar area of what happened here. So it's a very scummy thing and a very scammy thing, and I don't like it. Nobody likes it, and it happens all the time, not just in NFTs and not just in crypto. But lately, crypto has been a hotbed for these types of things. So I'll put a link in the show description about this article about the NFT marketplace on OpenSea being hacked. And it actually affected the market a little bit. I think there was a little bit of a turmoil in the crypto market because of this, because this is the biggest marketplace right now. And the other story I want to talk about is the New York Stock Exchange. The New York Stock Exchange filed a trademark for an NFT marketplace. Kind of a big deal. This kind of points to the idea that the New York Stock Exchange is about to get into trading NFTs, or at least, covering their tracks and covering their, making sure they're prepared if they have to set up some sort of an NFT marketplace. It's the largest stock exchange in the world, from what I understand. And this is what the article says over on Fast Company. The filing, submitted February 10th, reveals that New York Stock Exchange ambition to launch a platform for cryptocurrency and NFT trading, among other things. Such a platform would pit the centuries-old institution against the likes of crypto unicorn OpenSea, who we just talked about. A roughly 4-year-old startup that landed a monster $13 billion valuation in January. Yeah. As well as other popular NFT marketplaces like Rarible and the Winklevoss own Nifty Gateway. According to the document, the world's largest stock exchange has a bona fide intention to explore a vast spectrum of blockchain-based technologies, including, but not limited to, Application Programming Interface, or API, to allow users to access, maintain, store, display, buy, sell, and trade virtual and digital assets, artwork, collectibles, and, you guessed it, NFTs. And API for sending, receiving, accepting, buying, selling, storing, transmitting, trading, and exchanging digital currency, virtual currency, cryptocurrency, digital and blockchain assets, digital tokens, crypto tokens, and utility tokens. Pretty much covers everything. So New York Stock Exchange is getting pretty serious about this. And a lot of people who are bullish in crypto are excited about this, because that means that it's going to add a huge level of legitimacy to crypto. But also it could be seen as a threat as well, that they can come in and do some things they're not supposed to do. I've seen people argue both sides. I honestly don't have an opinion yet. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, learning about it. But the fact that the New York Stock Exchange, if you think about it, like if they start trading NFTs, people are going to take them a lot more serious than they are now. Because if you mention OpenSea to somebody who doesn't follow crypto, they don't have a clue who you're talking about. But if you say, hey, I bought this Bored Ape on the New York Stock Exchange, they'd be like, ooh, then they'll start to care after that. So 2 big stories. And I kind of want to do like a little side story, not too much, but this wasn't in my original show notes, but the things that's happening with Russia and the Ukraine have had an effect on the crypto market. From what we've seen, there's been a little bit of a decline. I think over the last couple of weeks, the crypto market has kind of been on a decline and volume's been down. But that didn't help. The whole thing with the Ukraine didn't help anything. Well, it didn't help a lot of things. I don't want to misstate things. So I just want to throw that out there too, is that there's some volatility in the crypto market because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Definitely something to keep your eye on. Now, how long have I been going? I knew this was going to be a packed episode. I'm already at 10 minutes and I haven't even gotten to my topic yet. Let's talk about wallets. When you get into NFTs and when you get into crypto, especially if you're like me and you're starting to research this stuff, the first thing you're going to have to decide on is a wallet. And a wallet will house your cryptocurrency, your coins, and in some cases it will house your crypto assets like NFTs. So, which wallet do you pick? That's the question, right? And it's really hard to say. And what I've found in my little research that I've done is that a lot of it stems from what currency is being used. So if you're picking a wallet, you kind of have to know where you're going to use the wallet first. So if you're going to OpenSea, there's a list of wallets there. If you're going to go to a different market that's out there, if you're going to use a different network like Polygon, if you're going to use Solana, if you're going to use some other ETH-based chains out there, that's a whole nother set of research, but you're going to have to know what currency you're going to use on top of which wallet you're going to use, because not all wallets work with all networks. I'm going to mainly talk about the elephant in the room, which is OpenSea. OpenSea is an ETH-based, mostly an Ethereum-based chain, but Polygon is supported over there as well. And there's a lot of other things like Solana that are being used on OpenSea. And the wallet of choice that a lot of people talk about and is very popular is MetaMask. And I did some research on MetaMask, and I saw a lot of good and a lot of bad, mostly bad. A lot of people didn't like MetaMask for many different reasons, a lot of security problems with it. And the company really hasn't been around that long. But it is the wallet that just about everybody recommends to get started with. And I've created a MetaMask wallet. I don't have any coins in it or anything. But when you pick a wallet, you have to learn security. It's not just a username and password for a lot of cases. They're going to give you a secret phrase whenever you pick a wallet and you create a software wallet. I think they're called cold wallets or hot wallets. I forgot which one they're called. But you're going to have to pick a security phrase, and they're going to give you, I think, 12 words in sequence. And this is your keys to your wallet. This is basically how you can get access to your wallet. It's not your private public keys, but if you have this phrase, you can get your private keys. And what a lot of these wallets do when you're creating your account with the wallet is that they're going to tell you, here's your secret phrase. Make sure you write it down. And a lot of best practices out there, and I agree with these best practices, say don't store it on a computer. Don't put it in don't put it in secret phrase.txt in your documents folder. Don't even put it on your 1Password or LastPass password managers. Don't even do that. What you should do is write it down with your fingers and a pen on a piece of paper and stick it in a safe or something that's fireproof. This is the best level of security one can have, is writing stuff down. So people laugh, but storing your password on a sticky note in an out of sight location is very secure. Very, very secure. Unless somebody physically gets into your home. And if they physically get into your home, you got bigger issues than just your password. But that is the de facto way to store these security phrases. And I've created several wallets, and this is kind of something I'm going to be investigating later on as well, is just how many wallets do you need? Because it seems like if you're going to dabble in different parts of crypto, you can't just have one wallet because it's not supported everywhere. I mean, there's services out there like Wallet Connect, which can help you connect your wallet to certain things that don't necessarily support it, but that's not with everything, especially if you jump between Ethereum-based marketplaces to Solana. Did I say Solarium? I think I said Solarium earlier. Now that I think about it, I said Solarium. Solana, and then there's Polygon, which are like the big three that I've been researching lately because they're the most popular, I think. Solana and Polygon are really popular because of their low gas fees, and which are called transaction fees, right? So it's like, do you just use just one? And you know, when I was coming into this, my thought was, I'm probably going to have a public-facing wallet, and I'm going to have my own private wallet, where I'm going to, I'm not going to tell anybody about this, my private wallet, but I'll have a public-facing wallet. If I happen to get into this stuff like big time, I'll have a public-facing wallet where people can donate or send me things. I won't have anything super valuable in there. And the reason why is because, I've learned in just going to different websites that people can send you malicious smart contracts. They can send you malicious NFTs that if you interact with them or sign them or do something with them, they can potentially compromise your entire wallet or your machine or something. So it seems to me that you would want to separate it. But picking a wallet is tough because to me, I like good user interfaces. So I looked at things like Sequence, and I looked at Phantom, and I even looked at the Brave wallet, which is built into my favorite browser, the Brave browser. And I thought they were pretty good. Sequence, Phantom, and Brave, but they weren't supported everywhere. They weren't supported on all these different Web3 sites and distributed apps that I was looking at, investigating. Certain people were just like, you can only use MetaMask, or you can use Trust, or you can use Coinbase. I'm just rattling off a whole bunch of different names here that could possibly work with it. Now, up until now, I've been talking about nothing but software wallets. There's also hardware wallets, which is something I'm going to be getting in the near future, just in case, something happens. If I'm going to have a crypto wallet with something that's very important, I'd rather have that offline. I'd rather have that in a device that is not connected to the internet in any shape or form. And there's Ledger and Trezor. Those are two brands that I know about. And I knew about these even before I got into this NFT thing, because I've been into crypto for years. I've known about it. I've owned crypto. I own coins. I have wallets already. None of the ones I named here, but I had wallets and stuff. So I was familiar with Ledger and Trezor, and I've been trying to get one for a while. But I never, I was never serious enough in crypto. I wasn't doing a lot of trading. I wasn't depositing money. I wasn't transferring money. It was basically, I was holding on the coins and they were just sitting there, kind of just for fun. And it turned out to be pretty lucrative because the coins I had held on to appreciated pretty well. So what started as just a few BAT from Brave, which is basic attention token, turned into hundreds and hundreds of dollars in Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana and all these other things that I bought. It actually turned out pretty well, and just from getting tips from my community with basic attention token and BAT, because you can tip creators with BAT. That's basically what I was playing with, and I actually turned it into a profit. So I was just dilly-dallying with that, but nothing really serious. But if it really came down to it, and I'm going to get serious about this, I would definitely want a hardware wallet. So going back to what we talked about, picking a wallet. UI, compatibility, what chain is it going to use, and what kind of reputation does it have? Because if it's weak in terms of security, or if somebody can access it really easily and they can get to your stuff, if it's been compromised in the past more than once, you may not want to do it. And the same is true for like newer wallets like Sequence, which recently came out, I think. Sequence and Phantom, which are really nice looking wallets and have good features, but they're young and they really haven't been tried and tested. So it's a lot of information regarding this. And sadly, I can't really give you any kind of guidelines on like which one I would recommend, because like I said, it depends on what you're going to do, what marketplace you're going to be on, what currency, which chain are you going to use? Are you going to use Ethereum? Are you going to be on OpenSea? Are you going to be on a different marketplace? What are your plans? Are you going to do trading? Are you just going to buy NFTs? Because the way it stands, you can't actually physically see your NFTs on MetaMask. But a lot of people use MetaMask to purchase NFTs, and then they go to OpenSea to actually look at their NFTs. Whereas there's some wallets out there where you can actually open your phone and see your NFTs inside of your wallet. And that may be important to some people, especially when it comes to collectibles. You may want to actually see your stuff and not depend on OpenSea to see it. It's a lot of C's. This is something that's going to be ongoing. I'm going to be revisiting this topic many times, because there's a lot of different wallets and a lot of different currencies and coins that people are using, and there's no one standard. And that's indicative of being in this whole Web3 birth and the gestation of this environment, is that standards are not there. People are building those standards. They're trying to build something to come up with a standard, and everybody's doing things different ways. And it's the Wild West. It's like very, very cool, but at the same time, it's very unorganized, which I've said in previous episodes, it's not always the best time to get into this stuff. It's very volatile right now. And as I learned about different metaverses, like Decentraland and the Sandbox and all these other different metaverses that are being created out there, each one of those comes with their own rule set with which wallets you can use and which currency you can use to buy things, and gas fees and transaction fees. They all have their own certain rule set, which I think is important to actually understand that. The things that I talked about in episode 1, like what's an NFT and why should you care? Those basics of an NFT and a chain that you're going to be using, and gas fees and transaction fees, and the concept of a wallet, and how you're going to be interacting with these services, where there's going to be like the things I'm talking about today. Are you going to use a hardware wallet? Are you going to use a software wallet? Are you going to use a centralized or a decentralized wallet? A lot of questions have to be answered before you can even get to that point. But it's important to build up the basics, and that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. And sadly, I mean, if you go to YouTube and search for what's the best wallet, a lot of those videos are biased. They are very biased, rightfully so, because they're biased towards what the people are using. Like, what are they using? Binance. You know, they might be using, if they're using Binance, I think Coinbase. Is it Coinbase wallet? I think Coinbase is mainly no, not Coinbase. Trust. The Trust wallet is mainly in the Binance ecosystem. So if you use Binance all the time, you're probably going to want to use the Trust wallet, right? So it's a little bit of bias as to what you're using. So you kind of have to work in reverse. I'm going to use this marketplace. Which wallets do that marketplace support? And then based on those wallets, I'll look at what each offers and what features they have and what kind of reputation they have, and I'll go from there. Lots to digest, man. And it's something that's very important. It's almost like choosing a bank, because your wallet is where you're going to house your currency. So it's a very important decision that you shouldn't take lightly. I personally like, excuse me, I personally like the idea of having more than one wallet. Not sticking with one for everything. Mainly because of security, just for redundancy and security, not putting all your eggs in one basket. Because if something like the OpenSea hacked that happens to you, you got everything in one wallet, boom, everything's gone. But at the same time, there's a level of risk increase if you're using different wallets and you're constantly switching between them. And there's varying degrees of security between each one. So it's a big world, man. This whole Web3 NFT stuff is crazy. But that's something to look at. How do you pick a wallet and finding the right one? And most times you got to know what you're going to do. If you're just going to buy, I can tell you right now, if you just want to buy NFTs or you're looking at getting NFTs, everybody's going to point you to MetaMask. Just about everybody, every video, every expert out there is like, just use MetaMask, just use MetaMask, because that is a standard pick for people who use OpenSea. That's like the default. They always say MetaMask, but it doesn't mean you have to use it. And that's my attitude. I'm like, well, if everybody's telling me to use MetaMask, I don't want to use it. Just like with OpenSea. Everybody was like, OpenSea is the one marketplace. Well, I'm like, I guess I ain't using that. I don't want to go where everybody else goes. I know if you're trying to list something or you're trying to sell something, sure, you want to put it in a big marketplace. But to me, the most popular, especially if it's riddled with hacks and grifters and stuff, the place that's the most popular is going to have the highest risk. It's going to absolutely have the highest risk. So lots to digest, guys. Lots to take in. This is Bwana from Bwana something. That's my, it's just a habit now. I just do that. This has been an NFT journey. It's the end of this episode. The stories we talked about, the OpenSea hack, the stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, and wallets. So I'll see you guys next week for some more NFT stuff. I'm doing a lot of research. I'm signing up for things. I'm jumping into metaverses and I'm walking around looking at people. Haven't spent a dime. Don't worry. Bwana, you become what? No, this is what I like to call investigative journalism. I'm just trying things out and looking at stuff. And I've been impressed by some stuff. I'm not going to lie. There's been some projects out there by some reputable people that actually look impressive. And then there's the crap. There's the bottom of the barrel, and there's the obvious grifts and the whole HODL. Come on, let's shoot the moon. All these different cringy scams that are just everywhere. And it's depressing just how much is out there. But I think I think I agree with some people like Gary Vee, who says that there's going to be projects that are going to rise to the top. But I think a vast majority of the crap that's out there is just going to fizzle away and die. And a lot of people are in it for the short run. They just want to do a cash grab and leave. Those people in it for the long run, we don't know who exactly they are right now. But those people that are in it for the long haul, those are the ones that are probably going to most likely to stick around. I'll see you guys next time. This has been an NFT Journey, episode number 3. And take care of yourselves. Be safe if you're doing this NFT stuff. If you're not doing this NFT stuff, which that's my primary audience, is the people who aren't in NFTs and they kind of want to learn about them. That's kind of my audience, and that's my intention for this podcast. You know, just sit back and watch, see what happens, and learn as you go. That's my suggestion. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day.